Hi, I'm Tess and I'm sharing the Lighthouse London midweek reflection this week, and I've titled it Love Never Fails. I don't know about you, but I've found this season quite hard, quite challenging at times, and I think part of the reason it's been difficult is I've had this perception, I don't know if it's true or not, but that some people are really having a blast in lockdown. They're getting all these creative projects done and having amazing encounters with God, and I'm thinking, I would love that, but it's just not how I've been experiencing things. And I started to question, where's my victorious Christian life? And a friend actually said to me, Tess, maybe you need to ask God how he sees victory. How does he define it? So I did, and I felt like he said, love. Love is victory. And that was reassuring, because if it's about love, things just get a bit simpler. So I want to look at 1 Corinthians 13, because in that, Paul, he writes about, all these amazing feats of faith, faith to move mountains. But he says, if I don't have love, I have nothing. And he goes on to conclude that, love never fails. So that's really reassuring, because it means anything, the most sort of disastrous, catastrophic, worldly kind of mess, if saturated in love, could end up being an extraordinary kingdom victory. The cross is the ultimate example of something that looked disastrous and catastrophic, and yet was the most radical display of love and, brought victory for all eternity. So this is a kind of a picture that I am taking courage and inspiration from, and partly because I've realized that love it's not about the emotion, because you might be thinking, oh, Tess, all very well, but I'm too drained to think or talk about love at the moment. But it's not about the emotion, because I'm pretty sure Jesus on that cross, he wasn't feeling love. It wasn't the emotion of it that was the display. The display of love came from the decision to go through with that. And so I'm going to talk about love as that decision to set our face towards God and to do his will. And when I think about love in extraordinary circumstances and difficulties, I think of Job and this Old Testament guy in chapter 1. The enemy comes with this accusation that, he only loves you because of what you give him. He doesn't love you, God, for who you are. And this is the enemy's strategy, that if everything's stripped away, will they still serve him? Will they turn their backs on God? And the stage is set, and then we see what will Job do in his utter desperation when everything imaginable is stripped from him. He's left in complete despair and devastation, and love is on display. He just pours his heart out to God in all his brokenness and in all his agony. He just lays it out. And maybe actually we'll all have times like that. It may or may not be isolation for you, but that decision to set your face in spite of everything, in spite of circumstances, and still pursue him, still seek him, still lay it out before him. That's a greater picture of love, because in the not understanding, I have to trust more. And love is shown, faithfulness is shown, and it tramples on the enemy's head. So maybe you want to look at 1 Corinthians 13. In that part, he describes love. And I'll read verses 7 and 8. He says, "Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails." And maybe for you, it is just about, I've positioned myself. My position is that I'm worshipping, and that is enough. Or maybe you want to go through this letter and explore some of the characteristics that Paul mentions, and say, Lord, do this in isolation. I need patience. I need to grow in that. I need kindness. Help me grow in that. But he introduces it. He says, now let me show you a most excellent way. And that's the way of love. So bless you as you go deeper with God in this time, seeking him, serving him, loving him.